always conversations about like around like DMV music scene and all the stuff. And I don't even entertain them conversations no more because one, they don't never bring me up. They never mention my name, which is fine.
Is it fine?
It is.
I feel like with the DMV, not that I know of, I don't even hear R&B coming out of DMV.
You don't. It is. Which is, and that's the funny thing, which is why it's like, that's why I have no dog in that fight because they don't even be talking about R&B. Yeah. They don't even be, half the time they barely talking about women.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times it's like they
overlook
it anyway.
It's probably about beef or some shit.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's overlooked. I'm already overlooked. So it's like, but then also I feel like I'm also not about to argue with you niggas either because you say some shit, back it. Like I'm not about to get into it with nobody.
Do you wish you had like more support from back home?
Absolutely. I mean, I wish I had some more support from anywhere, but definitely back home because it's just like, I rep home to the fullest. Like, I'm not even gonna, I love my city. I love DC. And, you know, like, whenever I go somewhere, like, if I'm on, like, a big stage, I always do, like, a go-go song or something like that because I always feel like, I just want people to know, like, DC got it.
How you think they can, like, what's a way that they could better support more up-and-coming artists, I guess, or, like, people like yourself?
I think that, I think there's a disconnect in terms of what's allowed in DC or what we can do. So, like, a big thing in DC right now is go-go music, right? And so go-go is just, that's our music. And it's been deemed that. So, every venue, every event space, all the things are catered towards go-go, which I love. But there's none that's really catered to upcoming independent artists in the area. And I think that the disconnect there is, they'll be like, well, then y'all should put on your own shows. And yes, we would love to. But also, you got to understand that real estate in DC is expensive. So in order to do any event, to get a venue is expensive. And then it's like, if I don't get the ticket sales, if I don't, you know what I mean? So then they try to compensate in a way where they try to get the artist to pay. And that's not fair because now I gotta pay in artistry and I gotta pay in money. Like, so a lot of times it just doesn't work because we don't have the infrastructure in place to necessarily support us. But I think that, you know, it would be nice if they started doing things like when you do have big name artists coming in town. Like, I know that they get to decide who opens up for them and stuff like that, but you also have the venues who can decide who open up for them too. So, like, I know, like, Howard Theater has, like, a manager that, you know, they have, like, a talent manager that'll do, you know, you can, if they maybe opened up something for people to apply to open for this person. You know what I mean? You're a good fit to open for Tiana Taylor. You're a good fit to open for Victoria Monet, for Coco Jones. You know, if we had those things in place, but a lot of times what happens is it's through the promoters. Yeah, I was about to say. So whoever the promoter is,
they're gonna charge the artists to make more money.
Yeah. So it kind of puts a dent in it where it's like, how do we then get the opportunities to be in front of bigger audiences? The only opportunity we have right now, like you said, is to get popular. Yeah. And if they say you popular, they're like, okay, well, you can sell tickets so then you can come.
Right. What about like because I feel like y'all got this more than we do. Like the social media blogs, like DMV Hoods and News, that's a big one. I think that's ATL. But it's another one like DMV. I forgot. I don't know if it's Top. I don't know. It's another one. I forgot. But do you think they do a good job at supporting artists, or they could do better?
I don't know, honestly. So I'll say this: I've seen. But it's the thing. I don't know how that works. So I do understand. I understand business, right? I understand that, you know, people build up a following so that they can charge people. I get it. But I feel like you got to figure out what your purpose is and what's your point of it. Like, if you're DMV Hoods and News, right? And I'm really telling information about the community. And I think that's why they first started. They was like kind of giving us information like, oh, this happened in DC. This, you know, violence, you know, reporting crimes, reporting information for people to have, because it's important that we know as a community what's going on. And then, you know, if we're then saying, okay, I want to add a positive light because there's so much negativity that we're reporting, and now we're going to do some positive things, I respect that. But I think that the intention of how you managing it matters. So I don't really know if they're charging artists to post on their page or anything like that. I really don't know the details, so I can't really speak on it. But if you are promoting artists, I think that that's a great thing, you know, in terms of, like, sometimes I feel like you just got to do shit for the love. But I feel like nobody does stuff for the love anymore these days. Everything is, like, for pay.
Now, like, if it's a look worth it, if it's worth it, doesn't matter.
For
like,
sure.
For example, I've heard, again, I don't know because I'm not from D.C., but I think I've heard it was supposed to be, like, some type of back and forth about the whole On the Radar thing. Like, I guess, like, somebody was bringing them to DC and he was charging an artist or something like that.
Yeah. I was privy to.
Oh, so you had to pay for that?
No, I didn't.
But you know about that.
I know about that.
Well,
I didn't have to pay for it, but okay, so let me also say this, that that's where your network comes in. That's where relationship building comes in, right? I actually, when I did the On the Radar thing in DC, I wasn't even prepared to do it. I went there to show love because I met them before. I did On the Radar before, and I connected with them. And so when I first came to, we built the relationship, we built rapport. My thing is, I support people. I'm a lover. I'm a nurturer. Like, I'm going to show up for you. If you having something, I'm going to show up for you. That's just what I do. So even like Gabe had a birthday party maybe like a month or so ago in New York. I went to New York and went to his birthday party. Like, I'm going to show up because I fuck with people. Like, if we cool and we connected, you need support, you need love. That's who I am. And that's what I do. So when I went to go visit them, honestly, I just went to go show love. And then they was like, you going to get on? And I did. Because, again, I'm putting myself in a position to always take advantage of opportunity to win.
Right.
So, no, I didn't. But I do know that, like, same thing, I guess, with, like you said, with bigger platforms, it's like they have reason to, I guess, to charge people, right? So it's like if they're sitting here saying, okay, I put this big name artist on here and I got them exposure and this is what a part of their press run. And that brings a bigger crowd to us. Now you want to be on the same platform as this artist. You got to pay for it. And so I get that. And I think that that's a little different than the blogs, if that makes sense. Because it's like if you're here to report information and report news and you're reporting things and you want to add something more to it, then cool.
See, I didn't know if that was on a radar that did that. Again, because I'm not from there. I just seen it. But I thought they was talking like it was somebody from DC or something that was like trying to middleman it.
Well, and so the thing about it is what they basically was saying was, and I don't listen. Y'all already know I'm a straight shooter. Anybody that know me. So if you don't, you know me. So and it's no ill will, no ill intent. I'm just being honest. And honestly, so you talking about Cav?
Okay, I know
well-connected
Cav. I fuck with Cav.
I fuck with Cav. That's my nigga. Like that's my dog.
Yeah, I fuck with him.
And basically, On the Radar was basically saying they were going to do like a tour. And so when they started their tour, they had different people that they were working with to connect, to bring out artists. And so it wasn't like they were only doing this in DC. They did this in every area. So they had big names from those areas, and then they had, other artists who were still up and coming. I think that the disconnect is that DC doesn't have big names.
Yeah.
So, or at least not ones that would be on the radar, I guess. So, like, if Wale would have did On the Radar, they wouldn't have charged him any. You know what I mean? Like this Wale.
Yeah.
Shy Glizzy. And so I think that I know from my knowledge, I think it was a thing of there was a certain amount of slots available that they were going to, that were comp based off of, your who you are, your popularity, whatever. So like I said, if it was Wale, bring them in. Like we need that, But on these platforms, it's not that they need you as an upcoming artist. You need them.
Right.
So when there's a need, you pay for it. It's a service. So I think that that's where that came in. And so with that, I think there was a lot of people might have felt like, okay, I have this level of exposure. I have this amount of followers or this amount of fan base, or I work with this person, so I deserve, like, I should be on that level. But at the end of the day, if a person doesn't feel like you are, then you just aren't, and that's okay. Like, you got to be okay with some people saying, like, to me, you're not on that level, so you got to pay like everybody else. And I think that was the disconnect. And I think people took it personally. And a lot of times, it's not personal. It's business, you know? And it ain't even a thing of like, oh, we friends or oh, we have a relationship. Because again, Cav didn't put me on there. Cav, I'm about to say, and me and Cav is tight. If anything, he would have been like, yeah, nah, you gotta go. You gotta pay too. But I wouldn't take it personal because it is what it is. But what happened was I came and I showed love. And when I did, they asked me, did I want to be on the platform?